I once worked with a couple, let's call them Sarah and Jake. Their issues seemed typical arguments over chores, different approaches to finances, but as we dug deeper, it became clear that these weren't just logistical disagreements. Sarah handled everything at home schedules, bills, even deciding on family vacations, while Jake, working long hours, thought he was helping by staying out of the way. Now, Sarah felt more like a project manager than a partner, and Jake couldn't understand why she was so frustrated. What was really happening? A subtle but powerful imbalance of control had taken root in their relationship. Power dynamics in relationships can be sneaky. It's not just about who makes the big decisions, but also those little moments where one person feels dismissed or sidelined. These imbalances often start small, but over time they can silently sabotage a relationship's foundation. Most couples who come to see me think they have a communication problem, but more often than not, what's actually at play is a tug of war over control that's never been fully recognized. In this video, we're going to explore how power struggles creep into relationships, how they affect emotional intimacy, and how you can bring balance back. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Jon Dabach, and after specializing exclusively in couples work for over a decade, working with thousands of patients, I've decided to share some of the most common and even not so common insights on this channel. Make sure to like and subscribe if this is up your alley. Now let's jump back into power dynamics. So, what exactly are power dynamics and how do they matter so much? In any relationship, there's an unspoken exchange of influence. It might show up in decisions like who decides where you go on vacation, or in more subtle ways like who controls the emotional tone of an argument. Power dynamics are the push and pull of control between two people, and when one person consistently takes the reins or conversely constantly surrenders them, it can create a major imbalance. Take another couple I worked with, Tom and Rachel. Tom always let Rachel make decisions, especially in their social circle. And it wasn't until Tom actually said that he was struggling to figure out how to join a bowling league that he'd been trying to join for years that Rachel really understood there was a problem. Over time, Rachel started feeling burdened by constantly leading, and Tom felt his needs were never considered. By avoiding conflict, Tom had handed all the power to Rachel, and neither of them were happy. Power dynamics aren't just about who's in charge. It's about whether both partners feel valued, heard, and respected. When one partner holds too much control, whether through decision making, emotional dominance, or finances, the relationship can become lopsided. A woman will often say that she feels like she has another child instead of a husband, and men will complain that their wives are incapable of doing anything. That's how you know a power dynamic issue has crept into the relationship. When power in a relationship leans too far in one direction, the effects can be subtle at first but profound over time. These imbalances don't just strain communication, they eat away at trust, intimacy, and emotional safety. What starts as a minor issue can snowball into a much bigger problem, leaving couples feeling disconnected or even controlled. I remember working with a couple where the wife was the dominant personality, always taking charge of decisions. Her husband didn't mind initially, but after a few years, he felt more like a passenger than a partner. She didn't realize that her husband felt powerless and started emotionally withdrawing. Before long, they felt more like roommates than a couple. See, power imbalances create emotional distance. The person holding power may feel burdened by responsibility, while the less dominant partner feels sidelined. These imbalances don't just affect big life decisions, they seep into daily interactions. In this last example, the husband felt voiceless, and the wife felt like she carried the weight of the relationship single-handedly on her shoulders. So how can couples address power imbalances? The first step in addressing power imbalances is recognizing they exist. Many couples don't realize there's a problem until frustration is built to a breaking point. But once you see where these imbalances are showing up, you can start making small changes to restore balance. One of the most powerful tools is open, honest communication. I'm not talking about passive aggressive battles, but real conversations where both partners express their feelings without judgment. Instead of saying you never help with the kids, it's more productive to say, I feel overwhelmed and can really use your help. This subtle shift from accusation to expression of feelings can make all the difference. Also, when you phrase things from your own perspective, we call that using I statements. It naturally diffuses any chance of fighting because nobody can argue with how you feel. If you say you feel overwhelmed, your husband can't say, no, you don't. That's not how people work. So you're taking the argument out of the conversation right away. It's a sneaky little linguistic trick that therapists have been using for decades now. Let's look at another case study of mine. We'll call them Mark and Linda. Mark felt Linda always steamrolled him when it came to social plans, but Linda assumed she was just more organized. Mike opened up about feeling sidelined when he couldn't seem to get away to try to join a group of friends that went hiking for, again, literally years, very similar to the bowling alley example. And that's when Linda woke up. They started alternating who made plans, giving them both a turn at the wheel. Rebalancing power isn't about one person giving up control. It's about finding an equilibrium that works for both partners. But shifting power dynamics is an ongoing process. Life changes. New jobs, kids, or retirement can all affect how power shifts between partners can change. A couple I worked with found their power dynamic flipped after their kids left for college. The wife, who'd been the primary caretaker, felt lost, while the husband, who'd focused on his career, now wanted to take charge at home. These shifts are natural, but can create tension if not acknowledged. There's no quick fix for power dynamics because they evolve with your relationship. The key is to stay curious, to stay empathetic, and to stay open to renegotiating roles as life throws you new challenges. Keep talking, keep checking in, and remember that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and shared responsibility. Rebalancing power is a continuous journey that requires effort, awareness, and patience. But what if you feel like you're still missing something? Despite all your efforts, there might be invisible barriers keeping you from fully connecting. Here's the thing. Even with all the tools and advice, there are deeper unspoken truths therapists don't always share with clients right away. Truths that can make all the difference. In my next video, the secret couples therapists don't share with clients, I'll pull back the curtain on these hidden insights. If you're feeling stuck or like there's still something missing, click on that video now. You might be surprised what you learn.